Welcome, seekers of truth, to a journey into the shadows of history, to unravel the enigma of the Illuminati. For centuries, their name has conjured images of secret societies, global control, and hidden agendas. But what is the truth behind the myth? And how is their story become so intertwined, and yet so distinct from another ancient brotherhood? The Freemasons. Our story begins not in the dimly lit halls of power, but in the intellectual ferment of 18th century Bavaria. The year is 1776, a year of revolution and new ideas. And it was in this crucible of enlightenment that Adam Weishaupt, a professor of canon law at the University of Ingolstadt, decided to form a society that would challenge the established order. Weishaupt, a former Jesuit, was a man of the Enlightenment, deeply concerned with the influence of the church and monarchy over reason and individual liberty. He envisioned a group dedicated to the pursuit of reason, morality, and philanthropic ideals, a society that would subtly influence the world towards a more enlightened future. He called it the Order of the Perfectibilists, though it quickly became known as the Illuminati, the Enlightened Ones. The Illuminati's goals were ambitious: to promote rationalism, oppose superstition, and combat the abuses of power. They aimed to achieve this by educating their members, fostering critical thinking, and gradually influencing positions of power from within. Their structure was hierarchical and secretive, with members progressing through various degrees of knowledge and understanding. The journey into the Bavarian Illuminati was a structured, step-by-step ascent designed to slowly indoctrinate and test its members. The entire organization was cleverly divided into three main classes, each revealing deeper layers of the order's true purpose. They began in Class 1, the nursery. This was the entry level, focused on weeding out the unsuitable and nurturing potential recruits. The very first step was becoming a novice, an entry point where the prospective member was primarily an observer. They were tasked with simple reports, documenting the local situation, and more importantly, providing detailed accounts of their own character and morality. After a period of successful observation and vetting, the novice was elevated to the Minival or Minivalis degree. This was the first true initiation, marked by a formal ceremony, the exchange of secret signs, and a password. Members now congregated in secret meeting places known as Minival churches. Showing exceptional dedication and promise in this role could lead to the rank of Illuminatus Minor or Minivalis Illuminatus, a higher distinction within the nursery, often signifying that the member was ready to take on the responsibility of recruiting others. The path then led into the ambitious Class 2, the Masonic grades. This class represented the Illuminati's calculated move to infiltrate and leverage the widespread network of conventional Freemasonry. Members were put through the standard Masonic degrees: Apprentice Lehrling, Fellow Craft Gesell, and finally, Master Mason Meister. Beyond these Blue Lodge degrees, the Illuminati offered more esoteric ranks within this class, adopting higher Scottish grades, like the Scottish novice and the highly trusted rank of Scottish knight. By adopting these grades, the Illuminati not only concealed their inner structure, but also gained access to influential individuals already established within Masonic lodges. Finally, at the pinnacle were the greater mysteries, the supreme degrees of Magus, Docetist, and King Rex. It was at this level that the full revolutionary philosophy of the founder, Adam Weishaupt, was supposedly disclosed. Yet, history tells a different story. The Illuminati's existence was short-lived. From its founding, with just 5 men in 1776, its peak estimated membership was considered to be around 2,000 to 3,000 members across Europe, including Germany, France, Poland, Italy, and others. This high point was reached around 1784. Their rapid growth and radical ideas soon drew the attention of the authorities, particularly the Bavarian government and the Catholic Church, who saw them as a threat to their power and stability. In 1785, less than a decade after its founding, the Illuminati was outlawed, its members persecuted, and its records seized. The order officially disbanded. Consequently, it is widely believed that the intricate rituals and complete doctrines for the highest degrees, the greater mysteries of Magus and King, were likely never fully developed or put into practice before the order's historical decline. And that, many historians argue, should have been the end of the Illuminati. Yet, their legend continued to grow, fueled by anti-Masonic writers and conspiracy theorists who saw their hand in everything from the French Revolution to the American Revolution. This is where the crucial misunderstanding with the Freemasons begins. The Freemasons, an ancient fraternal organization, predate the Illuminati by centuries. Their origins are rooted in medieval stonemasons guilds, evolving into a philosophical and philanthropic society in the 17th and 18th centuries. Freemasonry, while having its own rituals and secrets, was not founded with the same revolutionary political aims as the Illuminati. The confusion often arises because some early members of the Illuminati were also Freemasons. Weishaupt himself used the existing Masonic lodges as a recruiting ground. Adolf Freiherr Klieger was active Freemason before joining the Illuminati, and was the one who integrated the Masonic degrees. Franz Xaver von Zwack was a known Freemason and a key figure in the Bavarian administration. His involvement highlights how the Illuminati targeted established members within the powerful Masonic lodges. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe was a well-known and committed Freemason in the Lodge Amalia in Weimar. Karl Theodor von Dalberg was a high-ranking Mason. As an elector and statesman, his concurrent membership in both groups demonstrates the Illuminati's successful penetration of powerful political and religious offices through the Masonic network. These and many others created a superficial overlap that conspiracy theorists have exploited for centuries. However, the fundamental differences are significant. The Illuminati were a politically subversive group aiming to dismantle existing power structures. Freemasonry, on the other hand, is generally apolitical, focusing on personal moral development, brotherhood, and charity. While both valued secrecy, their core philosophies and ultimate goals were distinctly different. Furthermore, the very nature of Freemasonry's widespread and publicly known presence makes it difficult to conceal the kind of global conspiracy often attributed to the Illuminati. Freemasonry has grand lodges in countries all over the world, with membership rolls that are, while not always fully public, certainly not entirely hidden.
In essence, the Illuminati were a specific, short-lived radical movement of the Enlightenment. Freemasonry is a long-standing global fraternal organization. To conflate the two is to misunderstand both their histories and their objectives. The enduring myth of shadowy Illuminati controlling the world often projects the anxieties of modern society onto a historical footnote, frequently borrowing imagery and lore from Freemasonry to filling the gaps. So, the next time you hear whispers of the Illuminati, remember their true story, a brief, idealistic, but ultimately suppressed movement from the 18th century. And remember the Freemasons, a separate brotherhood with a different history and purpose. The real power, perhaps, lies not in secret societies, but in our own understanding and critical thinking. Good night.